Welcome to Who's Who at Holy Cross Village. Before I go any further, I just want to make a little bit of a quick statement. Prior to taping today, we measured 6 feet apart from myself and Kelley. So for that reason, we are going to take down our masks. We're aware of the audio. We've had a little bit of troubles with it for some of the other videos. And so if this is going to be of any value, we do want you to be able to hear what it is we're saying. So we'll take down our masks. So welcome to Who's Who. I'm your host, Kelley Oldfield. This segment is dedicated to getting to know the staff here at Holy Cross Village a little bit better. And not to be confusing, we have the other Kelley with us today, Kelley Mason, the Director of Marketing. So Kelley, being the Director of Marketing is a busy job. What all does your job entail?
So it's a little different now, but normally I would be the main person to have people come in and visit the community, take a look at what we have, talk through all the services we offer and what the options are, and just spend time getting to know people, which is very different right now.
So how do you get to know people during a pandemic?
So mainly it's phone conversations.
Okay.
We have had some video conversations, not very many of those, but videos of apartments and different spaces so they can at least know what things look like.
Wow.
So technology has helped in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And people are still moving in.
People are still moving in. People are still joining the waiting list, even without visiting.
That's excellent.
So, yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
How long have you been here?
So I have been here almost 16 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
So 16 years ago, we wouldn't have been sitting here.
Nope. So when I first started in the fall of 2004, my first office was in the lower level of the administrative center for the brothers and the priests.
Okay.
And we had little cubicles in that lower level, and we ate lunch with the brothers that worked there and the staff that worked there, so that we got to know people that way, which was fun.
Wow.
And then we moved to an off-site marketing office, which was in Edison Lakes Parkway area.
Okay.
So we had an office there until Andre was built.
Wow. So when you were housed at the brothers' office, you really got a good sense of who these gentlemen are,
Yes.
culture, Holy Cross community, what that's all about.
Yes.
Was that intentional?
I don't know if the timing just played out that way, but it certainly helped.
Wow.
Because we were able to get to know everybody a little bit before promoting, their option that they wanted to do.
That's really neat. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Tell us the path that led you to becoming the Director of Marketing.
So I have actually worked in senior living for 25 years and spent 10 years at another community locally that just helped me to appreciate the environment. It's almost like having a big family, being part of a big family. And I grew up in a big family, so it's just very comforting to me to have so many people that just kind of play a part in day-to-day life, and it's almost like being in your own little city. So that's what I found to be attractive and fulfilling, that you're helping people.
Right.
And that's a main part of my job.
Yeah. So you mentioned coming from a big family. To me, big would be anything beyond 2 siblings. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I have 5 brothers and 1 sister.
Holy cow.
And I am the youngest, so the baby of the family. And grew up with, just always having a lot of people around. So, like I say, this environment is very similar to that for me, that, there's just always somebody around to talk with and in this function, help people.
Right. And you're in northern Indiana, like you born and raised in this area.
Yes. Born in South Bend, grew up in New Carlisle. Yeah.
And, okay, so that's a little bit about you growing up. You have your own family now.
I do. I have 2 daughters that are out of college and on their own, and a son in 8th grade.
Okay.
So, got 1 still at home yet.
Very good. Very good. And your daughters, what are they doing during COVID or in general?
So my oldest daughter is actually a dance instructor. So
Okay.
she had been doing Zoom instruction with her classes. And she also has a small business of her own that she's been managing from home as well. So that's worked out for her.
Wow.
My younger daughter is an airline pilot, so she has been dealing with COVID up close and personal on her flights, and she's been doing well so far, hasn't been sick at all, so that's helpful.
Wow. That's a blessing then
Yes.
that she hasn't been sick.
Very much so.
Neat. So who's been the most I feel like I referenced your daughters and you talked about your son, and how many years have you been married? Because he's important too, right?
My
Like he
husband-
counts for something.
Actually 30 years we've been married.
Good
so,
for you.
Yes.
That's
So
an accomplishment.
It is an accomplishment, yes.
Neat. How'd you meet?
Commitment. He was actually a friend of one of my brothers.
Oh, okay.
So just happened to work out that way.
The benefits of a big family.
Yes.
Who's been the most influential person in your life?
I would say my parents. They've given me a lot of the values that I have, and just taught me a lot of lessons that are valuable too, and caring about other people and appreciating things. Obviously, having 7 children, we didn't have everything we wanted all the time, but you appreciated everything you had. So
Very neat. Very neat. What's keeping you busy during the pandemic?
well. We have primarily been attending baseball games recently of our son.
Oh,
so
fun.
we were able to get a bit of a season in this year. And we have a property with acreage. So my husband and my son got intrigued with playing golf.
Oh,
So they have created a small golf course on
wow.
our property that is walkable, and there is 6 holes.
No way.
Yes. So my husband really got into it, and there's hole markers. There are tees.
Oh my goodness.
And he has the putting greens, and he mows them. So
Oh my goodness. Do you get out and play with them?
I have. Yes, we've had our little tournaments for like the holiday weekends when we couldn't do anything. We would have a golf outing
In your backyard. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Yes, so that's been our hobby lately.
Huh. So who's the best golfer in the family? Or does that depend on who you ask?
Well, yes. Actually, our son is really enjoying it. And
Okay.
it's quite different from baseball, so he's really enjoying playing.
Wow.
He and my husband are pretty close.
Okay.
And I haven't played a lot, but
Uh-huh.
my dad loved golf, so I could probably learn a lot more if I really tried. So I might.
That's funny. And you mentioned baseball. You have, I'm not familiar with the baseball world, but you have something baseball related in your yard as well. Yard to me says small. On your property.
Yes, so we have a batting cage in our outbuilding with a full netting, and my son can practice baseball in
That's
there.
really
So
neat.
he and my husband spend a lot of time doing that.
That's cool. And cool that your husband's building into your son. You know,
Yes.
clearly it's not just a like go do your own thing, figure out this baseball thing or
Right.
on your own or
Oh yes, he's always
That's
very
neat.
supportive of interests.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What do you miss about your regular job duties most during this pandemic? Because certainly your job has been affected probably, don't want to put like a leveler on it, but like one of the more affected positions certainly.
I really miss having people in to talk with them. It is so hard to get to know people when you can't be face to face or have those interactions with them. And that's the main part of my job that I really love.
Yeah.
So that's been the hardest, not to be able to welcome people, bring them in, allow them to experience
Right.
being here and meeting residents and getting to know the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. So I'm really hoping that we can have some normalcy with people visiting in the future here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to make this community sound appealing if you can't show them the property and
Right.
they can't see the people, they can't see the heartbeat of the organization.
Right.
Oh
It's
my
very
goodness.
hard. Fortunately, we have a lot of people that have been on the waiting list for a while,
Okay.
or they know people living here, so they have that. But some have come from different areas of the country and have no idea what they're moving into.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's tough.
Yeah. And it's got to be a tough adjustment on them because then they don't get the heartbeat of who the people are that live here.
Right.
In your spare time, what do you like to do?
So we tend to enjoy being outdoors.
Okay.
Hiking, biking, we downhill ski, so we've been to a lot of places in Colorado, we've been to Canada to ski.
Wow.
So that's some of the things we really enjoy, being outdoors primarily.
And you say all three of your kids enjoy?
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they talk about, especially maybe more your son's generation, of always being glued to a tablet or a phone or something.
Right.
Sounds like you've instilled in your kids that that's not necessarily the route to go.
Right. Yeah.
Good for you.
My girls especially were always kids that loved to play outside.
Oh, good.
I never had to tell them to go outside. They just loved
Wow,
it.
that's cool.
Still do.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
If you had one day to do anything you wanted, and all the chores are done, there's nothing like, oh, I gotta go do dishes. Anything you wanted, what do you spend it doing?
Usually taking a walk.
Okay.
Just getting outside. I love to be outside. We play croquet, cornhole, wiffle ball. So
Okay.
we have a lot of outdoor activities. We just love being outside.
And safe activities as
Yes.
far as during the pandemic, you're not going to wherever.
Right. You can just go outside.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Mhm.
Have you had more opportunity to see your daughters given the pandemic and whatnot?
Not quite as much, but as often as we can.
Right.
So we've tried to have special weekends when we can squeeze those in.
Yeah.
But,
And
yeah.
you just celebrated a birthday last week. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yes, I spent that walking at St. Pat's Park.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's always good to be outside and enjoy the weather, and again, that's a safe activity.
Yes.
Nobody's going to judge you for that.
Exactly.
What's on your bucket list?
Oh my gosh, I want to go to Europe. I have
Cool.
always wanted to travel in Europe. I love history, architecture, so I really would like to see like the castles in Germany and go down the Rhine River, and
Oh, neat.
that would be definitely my bucket list.
Is your daughter, does she fly internationally?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, she's a regional airline.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
But maybe at some point she
Yep.
might? Okay.
She gets further up on the ladder. She
Okay.
can definitely do that if she
Oh,
chooses.
that's cool.
Mhm.
Because then she could be the pilot in theory,
She
right?
could, yes, that would be awesome.
That's a dream.
Yeah.
That's neat. Several years from now, when students are reading in their history books about the 2020 virus, what would you like them to know, or what would you advise them? And I think it's always interesting to ask that to a mother or to a parent of a children living through it. Really just, I mean, your daughters are adults, but.
Right. You know, I think the most important thing that people have probably learned from all of this is to be grateful for things. Be grateful that you have the freedom to go out and do whatever you want. You can get in your car and go wherever you want. Just those basic freedoms
Yeah.
of choice
Right.
that have been taken away from everyone at this point. So I think it's be grateful and treasure the people that you have in
Yeah.
your life. Mm.
Certainly the opportunity to connect with family has been, I think, a neat opportunity during
Yes,
this time to
definitely.
play golf or whatever that is.
Yeah, right.
Based on your career, what makes Holy Cross Village unique? And clearly, if you've been here 16 years,
Yeah.
we must be pretty special, in case we didn't know that already.
You know, over that time, it has just been so enjoyable to get to know people. Some of the people living here I consider family, and they treat me that way. I really didn't have close relationships with my grandparents, so working here has kind of filled that void in my life. And they have been open about that and care about, you know, my family. And
Yeah.
when I was expecting my son, it was a year before Andre opened.
Oh,
So a lot of people relate that to, well, how old is he now?
Yeah.
And what's he doing now? And still ask me about him because they remember that.
oh, that's
So,
neat.
Just wonderful people. living here and working here. We have a
For
great
sure.
team of people
For sure.
working here.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you'd like to say or for people to know about you? Like, do you have any unique talents that we wouldn't necessarily know about? Like the 3 truths and a lie. What's the truth in there that people would be like, no, that's the lie?
I used to really enjoy twirling baton when I was younger. I would be outside in my yard just twirling baton and dancing. That was one of my favorite things to do. So I could really twirl a baton.
Okay, so maybe on a future episode of Who's Who, we'll have a cameo with Kelley where she's twirling a baton. Do you still have some?
I don't have my baton
Oh
anymore.
man, it does seem like there's enough hidden talent amongst the organization that we should be capitalizing on.
We could have a parade.
Yeah, we should. A socially distanced parade. That could be great. Any parting words for our audience?
Just to let all of you know that we're thinking of you. We miss you. It's hard on everyone, but we really do care about all of you. So just know that.
Well, very nice. Thank you for your time today, Kelley.
You're welcome.
And stay tuned for future episodes of Who's Who.